Life has looked a little different lately. I moved home, I changed city, and I spent 2 months without any kind of a routine whilst I dealt with all the upheaval of the changes around me. Things are more settled now though, and it is time for me to carve out a new routine for myself here in Palermo. I wanted to share it with you because I think deep down we are all intrinsically curious about what other people do in their everyday lives. So a lot of people have been asking me, for example, am I going to do a house tour of my new apartment here in Palermo? But the answer to that though is no, purely because I truly believe that not everything in life has to be for public consumption. My home is my personal space, my sanctuary, and so I want to keep it that way. And so this is the reason why I'm not going to share all of my home, although you will of course see snippets of it in my videos, just because I think that is important to have boundaries in that way. But when it comes to routines, I think that they can be something that you can become inspired by and actually learn from. So let's share mine, shall we? My routine is mainly focused around my morning. Mornings have become my sacred time. I strongly believe that if you don't set your morning up right, the rest of the day follows suit. I used to be that girl who would dash out of the house every morning without taking any time for myself, and honestly, I felt just as chaotic inside. My mornings now start early. There's a certain peace and tranquility in those first few moments of the day that you just don't find later on. Breakfast and coffee are a must for me. I don't function otherwise. It's the most overlooked meal of the day, but honestly one of the most important. If I don't fuel my body in the morning, I only end up snacking or overeating at lunch. Gone are the days where I would eat eggs and toast or cereal for breakfast. I don't drink milk anymore since moving to Italy, and so my breakfasts are very continental. A cornetto with Nutella, plum cake, or some other sweet pastry. I live in Palermo now, the home of Dolce, so it's honestly dangerous to go to the bar for breakfast. Reading is an integral part of my routine. Last year, I barely read one book. This year, I'm onto my 4th book. I know it would have been more had it not been for this move, but I'm not complaining. I can't begin to tell you how many people say they don't have the time to read. My secret, I read for 15 minutes every morning. You don't need hours, you need consistency. Consistency really is the key to life. I remember reading about the power of compound interest in Atomic Habits by James Clear, and how the smallest of actions repeated over time yield more results than longer sporadic periods. What can I say? I'm the proof. So coupled in with reading, my magical morning practice is something else that I include into my mornings, and it's a place for me to feel gratitude, for me to appreciate what I have in my life, and I do it with a friend of mine every single day. We just leave voice notes to each other on the phone just to express gratitude for what's happening in our lives and what's yet to come. And it's a very powerful technique that I've been doing now for the whole time I've been in Italy, 4 years. And it's amazing the amount of things that I will talk about with my friend and they actually manifest into form. Like moving to Palermo, which I'm currently experiencing now, being one of them. Like, you know, this was something that I spoke about in my magical morning for months. You know, I have it still to this day as a screensaver on my laptop, and here I am living it. Like, there is a lot of power and intention behind your thoughts and behind your desires, and I think sometimes we don't give them enough credit. And so it's really important for me to pay homage to those every morning and talk about what I desire, because it's that ultimately which will help me to create the life that I want. Another aspect of my routine focuses on EFT, otherwise known as Emotional Freedom Technique or tapping. This is something I really got into a couple of years ago, and it is a great way to shift limiting thoughts and beliefs that we carry around with us. I tap on whatever I feel called to for that day, whether it's for more energy to get things done, or it's to release the opinions of others. There are many wonderful resources for EFT on the internet. I recommend starting with Brad Yates on YouTube. Some may see this technique as woo-woo or a little crazy, But I've come to learn in life that it's really not important what other people think. There are some changes that I want to focus on now that I'm in Palermo, and one is the use of my phone in the morning. I'm just as guilty as the next person when it comes to reaching for my phone as soon as my eyes are open and immediately checking notifications and emails. I know how unhealthy it is though, and how the moment you do that, you allow the outside world in to influence your day, whether that be in a positive or negative way. I want to set my mindset for the day first before I let the outside world have its share. I also want to start to incorporate my Italian learning into my morning routine. I'm so tired of listening to my own excuses as to why I haven't learnt the language yet. Now I just need to do it and basta. Although that said, I am very proud of the progress that I have made. I'm so much more confident now in having a conversation, and although it is littered with mistakes and probably very basic, I am now able to communicate with people who once I was silent with, and that feels amazing. Progress is just as individual as we are. My morning routine isn't set in stone. It adapts depending on my day, and even more so now because I have a short commute to work, something which I didn't have in Salerno. When I accepted a job at an English school in Salerno, it ended up being directly opposite the home I later moved into. I have never lived and worked so close to somewhere in my life, and as much as it was the Italian dream in many ways, I actually prefer the distance. There's something to be said when you're sipping coffee on your balcony on a Sunday morning, relaxing, whilst overlooking your place of work. You just don't have that separation.